things and how it may affect markets and Bitcoin and crypto overall. There is definitely someone or a group of people that is preparing, because take a look at this. I was on Crypto Quant, and let me close my camera here, right? What you see right there is number of stable coins flowing into the exchanges. Right there, that big green point right here, okay? That's 1.4 billion, okay? And this is net flow. This is not like coming in and out. That's just net flow. 1.4 billion that were moved into the exchanges, various stable coins, into all the exchanges, right? And why do you think this was done? Well, someone or a group of people are definitely getting ready, right? Are they expecting something or maybe not expecting something and getting ready to buy? But that is an enormous amount that has flowed into the exchanges, okay? Keep in mind, this is stable coins. This is not like Bitcoin flowing in. If that happened, then you would think it's because someone wants to dump. No, this is stable coins coming in. And why would stable coins be coming into exchanges? Well, obviously, to be used to purchase crypto, right? So this is very, very interesting. 1.4 billion that has flowed into the exchanges waiting, right? Could it be because of Powell and what he's going to say, and they're waiting to see what he's going to say, right? Or are they waiting for something else? But I do think this is very, very significant. Speaking of Bitcoin, we still have a lot. I know recently it's been calm, it's been quiet, kind of boring, right? But you know, we got a lot of charts like this showing that we are definitely recovering from bottom. And I'd like to remind you guys that some of these bottoms that we have gone through took a whole lot of time before we actually broke out and things got exciting, okay? I mean, it took a long time. I went through all these cycles, and I remember the one in 2015, 2016, 2017. I mean, literally, it took a long time. I mean, after the fact, you know, you don't recall time as well as you did before, but I remember during some of those bottom times, it was just brutal. And especially when you're at a level that you really don't feel comfortable being at, right? But there are a lot of charts right now showing this is an accumulation indicator. I don't know, you know, what makes up this indicator, but you could see it's pretty darn accurate, measuring the 2015 bottom, the 2019 bottom, the 2020 bottom even, and now, of course, the 2023 bottom as we are recovering, right? Here's another one looking at previous cycles, right? And again, this is a crossover on a 3-week time frame for LMACD, and whenever there's a crossover, good things happen, especially as Bitcoin breaks through its previous downtrend line, right? That's always a positive thing. So a lot of charts still looking pretty darn good for Bitcoin. Here's one comparing right now's movement to 2020, how there's a hidden bearish divergence. And not only that, we are trending higher. And in 2020, that's exactly what happened before we went up in a big, big way. Many people feel like the bull run is basically after the halving event. Yeah, I would say that's like the tail end of it. But you got to figure, where does the bull run actually start? It pretty much off the bottom, right? Off its bottom, and then you're in recovery mode. Technically, that's the start of the bull run. And right now, that's what it's looking like. There will still be more volatility, but it does look like this is the start of that bull run, or at least a path to recovery, right? So there's a lot of charts like that. And of course, has a lot to do with the halving event. 71% in till the next one. And again, every time we get to this point is generally the bottom and when the bull run starts, right? Yes. And of course, what helps this case is the percent of supply last active, basically a number of Bitcoins being held, right? Very, very, very high. Very high indeed. And again, if you happen to glance the last 2 times, right, this was measured at its peak, like around the 61.28 mark. That was very high, right? That was when Bitcoin shot up from $100 and something up to $20,000. Okay. And then you go back and you go look at the 63.45 mark. That was actually when Bitcoin was around 6,000. And then it headed towards 69,000. All right. And I look at where we are now, 67.72%. There's more holders now, more Bitcoin being held now than the previous cycles by a lot, compared to 63% and 61%, right? But every time this happens, when Bitcoin hits a critical mass, basically, of holders and a number of Bitcoin being held, what happens? That's when a massive run starts, right? So again, all these things are indicating we are definitely in recovery. You could argue that we have already started an next bull run, right? And man, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild when we really start moving, right? So this is also very interesting. And lastly, outside the charts, you can see here, supply last active 6 months ago, okay, over 15 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin not moved in over 6 months, right? And it's at an all-time high. Same thing with being held 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. The supply percentage is higher and higher and higher as more and more holders opt out of Fed Chair Powell and opt out of holding dollars and seeing it disappear in front of your eyes due to inflation, right? More and more people, their conviction towards Bitcoin is getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. All great things.